श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगण ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। गुरुभीष्टशूरकं गुरुगणैराशीषसम्भूषितं चिन्ताचिन्तसमस्तवेदनिपुणं श्रीरूपपन्थानुगं गोविन्दाभिधम् उज्ज्वलं वर्तनं भक्त्यन्वितं सुन्दरं वन्दे विश्वगुरुं च दिव्यभगवत्प्रेम्णो हि बीजप्रदं देवं दिव्यतनुं सुचन्द्रवदनं बालार्कचैलाञ्छितं सान्द्रानन्दपूरं सदेकवर्णं वैराग्यविद्यां बुधिं श्रीसिद्धान्तनिधिं सुभक्तिलसितं सारस्वतानां वन्दे तं शुभदं मदेकशरणं नासीश्वरं श्रीधरं श्रीसिद्धान्तसरस्वतीति विदितो गौडीयगुर्वन्वये बहतो भानुरिव प्रभातगगने गौरसङ्कीर्तने मायावादतिमिङ्गलोदरगतानुद्धृत्य जीवानिमान् कृष्णप्रेमसुधाब्धिगहनसुखं प्रदातप्रभुं तं भजे। नमो गौरकिशोराय भक्तावधूतमूर्तये गौराङ्घ्रिपद्मभृङ्गाय राधाभावनिषेविने वन्दे भक्तिविनोदं श्रीगौरशक्तिस्वरूपकं भक्तिशास्त्रज्ञसम्राजं राधारससुधानिधिं गौरव्रजाशिताशेषैर्वैष्णवैर्वन्दविग्रहं जगन्नाथप्रभुं वन्दे प्रेमाब्धिं वृद्धवैष्णवम् वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। पञ्चतत्त्वात्मकं कृष्णं भक्तरूपस्वरूपकं भक्तावतारं भक्ताख्यं नमामि भक्तशक्तिकं। नमो महावदान्नाय कृष्णप्रेमप्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्य नामिने गौरतुषे नमः। जयतां सुरतौ पङ्गोर्मम मन्दमतिर्गति मत्सर्वस्य पदाम्भोजौ राधा मदनमोहनौ दिव्याद्वृन्दावरण्यकल्पद्रुमादः श्रीमाद्रत्नागारसिंहासनस्थौ श्रीगान्धार्वशीलगोविन्ददेवो प्रेष्ठादिविसेव्यमानो स्मरामि। श्रीमानरासरसारम्भीवं श्रीवटतटस्थितः कर्षणवेणुशनैर्गोपीर्गोपीनाथस्यस्तनः वृन्दाय तुलसीदेव्याय प्रियाय केशवस्य च कृष्णभक्तिप्रदे देवी सत्त्ववत्याय नमो नमः। अथ नत्वा मन्त्रगुरून् गुरून् भावतार्थदान् व्यासान् जगद्गुरून् नत्वा ततो जयं मुदीरयेत्। जय सपरिकर श्री श्री गुरु गौरांग गंधर्व गोविंद सुंदर पाद पद्मनाम जयस्तु। जय सपरिकर श्री श्री गुरु गौरांग गंधर्व का गिरिधारी युपद पद्मनाम जयस्तु। सकल वैष्णव पदे मोरो नमस्कार इथे किछु अपराध नाउको हमारा हयचैन हईमेन प्रभु रजतौ भक्तजन वंदना करी आमी सावारो चरण। श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। Sastang Dandat Pranam to all the Vaishnavas, devotees, servitors worldwide at the lotus feet of Om Vishnupad Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswāmī Mahārāj and Om Vishnupad, Srila Bhaktī, Rakshak, Srīdhar Goswāmī Mahārāj. Also, at the lotus feet of Om Vishnupad, Vishwavarenya Śrīla, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. So, welcome to our Saturday afternoon, late morning session of Bhagavad Gītā. We're reading and discussing. So, we are in chapter 2, and we will continue our discussion. And we will start with our regular Kirtan. So, Lavanya will lead us. Lavanya. Will you transit? Lavanika, did you transition?
No, I'm just making sure you have them.
Okay.
We'll start with 74. Shri Guru Charana Padma. Bhaja Śrī Kṛṣṇa Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda.
Śrī Kṛṣṇa Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda.
Bhaja Shri Advaita Gadadhara Śrīvasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
Shri Advaita Gadadhara Śrīvasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
Shri Guru Charana Padma Kevala Bhakti Sadma.
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 Bando Mui Sabadana Mate
Guru Mukha Padma Vajya Jate Koriya Kya
Aruna Kori Homane Asha
Anade Koriya Asha
Shri Guru Charane Rati Sai Sai Uttama Gati Prabhu Okay, let's do 126. परम करुणा पाहु दुई जना निताई गौरा चंद्र परम करुणा पाहु दुई जना निताई गौरा चंद्र सबै अवतार सार शिरोमणि केवल आनंद कंद
सब अवतार सार शिरोमणि केवल आनंद कंद
परम करुणा पाउ दुई जना निताई गौरा चंद्र
परम करुणा पाहु दुई जना निताई गौरा चंद्र
सबै अवतार सार शिरोमणि केवल आनंद कंद
अवतार सार शिरोमणि केवल आनंद कंद
भज भज भाई चैतन्य निताय भज भज भाई
चैतन्य निताय
सुदृढ़ विश्वास कोरी
सुदृढ़ विश्वास कोरी
विषयाचार्या तेरा से मादिया
विषयाचार्या तेरा से मादिया
विषयाचार्या तेरा से मादिया
विषयाचार्या तेरा से मादिया
बोलो हरि हरि
मुखे बोलो हरि हरि
देखो रे भाई त्रिभुवन নাই এমনা দয়াল দাতা দেখো রে ভাই ত্রিভুवन নাই এমনা দয়াল দাতা দেখো রে ভাই ত্রিভুवन নাই এমনা দয়াল দাতা
देखो रे भाई
এমনা দয়াল দাতা পশু পাখি জুড়ে পাশানারি ধরে
पाखी झूरे पसना झूरे
পশু পাখি জুড়ে পাশানারি ধরে
पशु पाखी झूरे पसना झूरे
তুমি যারা গুণগাথা পশু পাখি জুড়ে পাশানারি I forgot the page, but let me find it. 227. 227. Jaya Rādhā-Mādhava Jaya Kunja Bihari
Jaya Rādhā-Mādhava Jaya Kunja Bihari
Jaya Rādhā-Mādhava
Jai.
Gaur Premanande,
Hari
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 Bol.
Lavanya Devi Dasi Ki Jai. That was so nice. And we have Ananda Didi also and Vidura Prabhu here joining us. Hare Krishna.
Prabhu, today we are continuing from verse 20.
21. 21.
We completed 20,
Yeah.
so we'll do is chapter 2, verse 21.
Each book is different.
Yeah.
Which page is that?
Chapter 2, verse 21.
It's probably page 27. Most probably 27. Oh, you have a different, that's the soft cover, it's different.
47 in soft cover.
47.
Like a lecture.
So we'll just chant this one and then we'll discuss it because the next one it's a different meter, so we'll first chant this one, that's why. Otherwise we could chant both of them together, but. Veda vinashinam nityam yaenam majam abhyayam katham sa purusha partha kam ghatayati hantikam. One more time. Veda vinashinam nityam yaenam majam abhyayam katham sa purusha partha kam ghatayati hantikam. O Partha, knowing the soul to be indestructible, eternal, birthless and immutable, how can a person kill or cause anyone to be killed? So again, the best way to describe or to arrive perfectly at the definition of something which is at present abstract because of our senses is to describe it as what it is not. So, neti neti, that's how we're proceeding. He's trying to get all the it's imperishable, everything he's negating first. So, indestructible, so he cannot be destroyed. Birthless, immutable, so number 22. Vasamsi jirnanya yatha vihaya navani granati naro parani Tatha sharirani vihaya jiranya anyani sanyati navani dehi. One more time. Vasam sijirani yatha vihaya navani grahanati naro parani Tatha sharirani vihaya jiranya Anyani sanyati navani dehi. Ananda Didi, would you like to read?
Sure. As a person adopts new garments, discarding those that are old and worn, similarly, the soul continues to adopt new bodies, leaving those that are old and useless.
So this is one of the verses that Srila Govinda Mahārāj repeated, and this is showing in motion, sort of in process of how the external Deh and the internal Dehi are kind of going through a timeline. So that's what it's showing. That on one side is the eternal principle and the other one is the mundane principle. Both of them are together, and the relationship therein. So the soul, is unchanging and doesn't get old, immutable, indestructible, but the body we can see changing. I could see myself as a teenager, even as less than a teenager, but I remember, and then 20s, and then 30s, and then 40s, and now 50s. So I can see the difference. And most people can, if they focus on that. So we can see how the body does not function in the same way as it did as a teenager or as in my 20s. So there's a difference. It's natural. And that's the external. And then death is explained as the final change or the changeover. So the sober-minded who have understood this, internalized it, they're not bewildered at that juncture of the final change, because they know that this is an ongoing process. So, any comments or questions on that? So we can. The parallelism here is like the new garments we wear, and we wear for a day, 2 days, and then we feel it's worn. Or the length of a garment, when it's worn out, then we discard it, and then we get new ones. So similarly, the body is discarded by the Dehi, by the soul, by consciousness. And new one is adopted. This goes continuously, and this is sansar. So, when Mahaprabhu says Brahmana Brahmite Kono Bhagyavan Jeev. So Brahmana Brahmite means what? He says Brahmana Brahmite Kono Bhagyavan Jeev Guru Krishna Paya Bhakti Lata Vij. So what he says, Brahmana Brahmite, what does that mean? That means, so yeah, going through the sansar, which is repeated birth and death, and or unfulfilled, these the mundane desires to be in touch with matter. That propensity doesn't go away. Because we want taste, we are after taste, and then at the slightest hint of that, we go, no, we want more of that, and so we get, maybe curiosity gets us in touch with trying to enjoy separately, because as tatastha, we're tatastha, marginal. We have free will, so we can go either towards the internal potency, towards the center, and enjoy there, or we can enjoy in forgetfulness, be in touch with matter. So we have to come in voluntarily. We say, okay, I want to be hypnotized, or I want to be in illusion. So then we come into contact. We go through that degradation phase, the hazy phase of our higher energy, degrading and coming into contact with matter. So our awareness goes through that. Then this awareness is different from the purified awareness. This awareness is always after mundane pursuits. We're always trying to go after those. So going through that degradation phase, then we come into contact with matter. And then we just get used to it because, like anyone who's played video games, you play video game and then you sort of Jaya Shranangiti Ki Jai. So we get hooked in the sense that we can't stop. Like we need another avatar. We need new weapons. We need new this, new that, and then we continue. Okay, now I have 3 lives. Now I'm going to keep playing. So, something like that. Where one doesn't want to just decouple from that and go, wait a minute, I've had enough. So we continue to be in that, and that's called Brahmana Brahmiti. Yes, Vidura Prabhu.
So you're talking about the marginal and the Tathasta, but in a verse coming up too, it talks about the soul being untransformable. But how is that? We're talking about transforming the soul from the marginal to the. How does that relationship work of not transforming but also being on the margin and trying to come to Goloka Vrindavan?
So transformation, that's more of a, we make that choice because, it says that Tatastha region is sort of part of the infinite is also infinite. So, it's Tatastha region it can have, Tatastha means marginal, which means, that conscious plane, and that, you can say, group of energy can either choose to go internal or external, depending on, some inspiration within. You can say inspiration or propensity within. So the rebellious ones, which is a minority, come to the material world, yes, to the dark world. And the majority of the souls are in service. So that is more to do with what internally I want to do versus transformation. At that point, it's not essential for an external, higher group of energy to help us in any way. That's more of a choice, like an expression of free will, if that makes sense. And so because of that, then this sort of domino effect starts to happen where, okay, if I want to enjoy the external potency, I really cannot in my constitutional marginal position because I'm a different energy group. I can't even touch matter. So then I have to go through that degradation process, and then through false ego, come into the 3 modes, and then develop this mundane awareness and then function. Yes, Didi?
Do you know Sukriti also plays a role there in that choosing?
This is more about initially what happens. So Sukriti will only come into play when there is some cycle. But his question is more to do with before everything began, kind of like that's what his question is. So Sukriti is like if we've been going through it, like Guru Krishna Prasade Paya Bhakti Lata Bij. So that is, that is mercy. And then how they come in touch with mercy is because of Sukriti, is some acquired spiritual merit but that's different. That's at a different level. Does that, because transformation initially doesn't depend on any external principle or factor. It's more to do with that unit internally trying to choose, like, I like to go this path or that path, pretty much.
Right.
And then other things start to come in.
Kind of like acceptance of what you're feeling underneath of the soul.
Exactly. So it's at that time that unit is true to themselves, saying like, I want to enjoy, and then that thing is given to them.
Right.
It's at that point you can't say right or wrong. From here we can kind of project and go, well, that was a wrong choice. Yes, but being at that situation, it's an internal thing. Ichha dvesha samuthena danda mohena bharata. So he explains, like, some wave comes and some internal thing is, I want to enjoy. So, and then curiosity gets us into that trap, if you want to call it that. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Just out of curiosity, since we are already here in this material plane, so we're not going to be offered the opportunity again to go to Tatastha, right? And they have the choosing. It's not a place.
Well, it's not a tourist spot in that sense. It's our constitutional position as marginal potency, as Jiva Bhut. So Jiva Bhut is our purified, most completely purified constitutional position. As we're part and parcel of the Supreme. But if you look finely in the granular sense, then we're also different. So simultaneous oneness, but individually different. So what was your real question again?
The real question is that since we commit a big mistake to be choosing to come here, now we are here in the material plane, we're not going to be offered that situation again to go back to the Tatastha Shakti, yeah? Or we can again go there and then have the mistake to be choosing. That's my question.
But it's not a place. Tatastha is not a place.
It's so we can.
I know.
So here's the thing. Right now, like, you're here. I'm here. Everyone is here.
Right.
We're individual units. We have false ego. We have our own life, we have our own everything, our own ecosystem. But the occupying essence is actually not here.
Right.
Like I said, like, that energy is a different level. So, like in visuals, some go, okay, well, this energy exited from here. That's the subtle body. That's not soul proper. Soul proper is never here. Yeah. So by saying that, are we at the marginal plane? We're always at the marginal plane if you really look at that way.
In this sense, that's how it
Functionally, it's immovable. So what does that mean?
We're always making that choice.
We're always, it's like being there. It's right now, it's comatose. You understand the word comatose?
Yeah.
Comatose, like not functioning, not awake. That's why you hear awake, arise, find your fortune. Jagrata, uttishta, jagrata. That's what it says. Wake up. Why does it say that? On that plane, we're comatose. It is this awareness as some dreamlike situation. Just to give you an example, a parallel. That's what we've chosen, and that's what we want to do. So we're engaging in different kinds of activities and things over here. But factually, we never, that plane is not like a place. with GPS coordinates is what I'm trying to say.
Right.
So it's a different dimension. It's beyond space, time. It's in like part of Brahman.
But it's very scary because we always have to make the choosing, right?
The what?
It's like we never stop having to choose. So we can still be.
So that's free will.
Right.
We always have free will because we're, like I said, conscious unit. And one of the intrinsic properties, functions of being conscious is to have free will. If we didn't have free will, then might as well be stone. So that quantum of developed consciousness imparts free will to the individual unit. And we will always have that no matter where we're at. It doesn't matter whether we're in physical, mundane world, whether we're in any other plane. That free will always be with us. So choices, yes. But choices are more important than abilities. When we talk about consciousness, when we talk about Krishna consciousness, what we choose and what, that is more important than what we're able to do or not able to do, if that makes any sense. Because ability is not a function of consciousness. And karma yoga, all of that has to do with abilities, doing. It doesn't that much have to do with, once you choose, then you act or engage. So, if that makes sense. So, we don't, when it says that the soul leaves the body and then goes to another, it's actually the subtle body going. Not that the soul actually leaves. The soul is part of the tatastha energy region, and that's it. And it's manifest everywhere. In this world, in all other regions, in this dimension. This is just a small dimension, which is the mundane world.
But how the individuality works there? Because it's like there are many individual souls, right? Or no?
Yeah, we're part, each and every unit. You could say an atom. If you study from a distance, this will look like a book, but you go finest, then you'll see it's a collection of atoms. So we are that atomic particle. We are that atomic particle extending here, just like ray of the sun comes here. And if we see a region, then we'll see, oh, that's the sunlight. Yeah, that is the sunlight, but when you go through a microscope, deepest, you'll see photons, or you'll see units. Then you'll start seeing unit. And then you can trace, this is one ray, this is another ray, this is another ray. So we're like one of those. Our home is not here, but we're like, lighting up this world. The ray doesn't belong here. The sun ray belongs to the sun. Huh? So we are explained like that although we're here just like the sun rays, but today is cloudy, so you can't really see the sun. But usually, when we see the sun, the sunlight, then we can, by seeing it, then we can think deeper and then understand. Our position is very similar to that we're like that pencil ray of the sun. Our home is the sun, but we're shining here. In rebellion. So, and the whole process is sweet. It's not like, oh, you made a choice, now you're done. No, there's always hope. There's always hope.
Progress.
Always hope. So we can always, at any point in time, develop our propensity to try and get back into that inward current, going towards the center. And then we can be taken beyond the Tatastha region. So if you see our constitutional position, then it is the Tatastha region. That is where we can go at most. But Krishna consciousness is not about going back to the Tatastha region. Going back home does not mean Tatastha region. Going back home is all the way to Vrindavan. Tatastha region has no experience of Vrindavan. So only higher energy can take that marginal energy if they cooperate and then take them all the way there. So Krishna consciousness is actually going for Tatastha, going beyond its potential in a way. What I can think of as my potential, that is not Krishna consciousness. So it proves everything wrong. It's a disruptive principle. So everything that I think has to be defeated. Because thinking is limited by my perspective, my purview, by my capacity. Krishna consciousness is beyond that. It takes us all the way to Vrindavan.
What about other subtle parts of your personality? For example, more extroverted or more empathetic in this birth. But this is part of the soul personality or this birth personality?
Some reflection from the other plane. Some get completely perverted. Some reflections. Some you can see clearer than other propensities. So, like the love of a mother for their child is a really good reflection of the reality. That is without any other intent, but in of itself, it's love is the principle. It's pure. There's no exploitation. So that one example that we see even on this plane, in a healthy mother-child relationship, is sort of the purest. But there's others that one can trace back to, but it's very difficult trying to go that way. Because, like I said, there's so much of our entire conception of viewing things, situations, ourselves, it's all part of misconception, so it's been turned upside down. And if we try to calculate from that upside down position, it's very difficult. Like try driving a car upside down, literally, like, it's going to be, you see upside down and try. I've tried bouncing a ball upside down. And it's very difficult, like trying to catch it, bounce it and catch it. It's very difficult to. So, I'm not asking you to do that, but it's really, you invert your vision even physically and things become impossible.
We're all going to try it.
I'm telling you, if you do, it'll be so difficult. Just like the trajectory and the acceleration to the gravity, you're just like, what is this? Where is this ball going? So everything goes haywire. So, and our conception of viewing reality is like that, has been twisted like that. So to trace back those things is very difficult. So by sound, sound is like the subtlemost element in this plane, and that can take us to the other plane. And what is the subtlemost here becomes gross over there. So everything in words.
Perfected reflection, no? Śrīla Prabhupada used to say it's a perfected reflection.
Yeah, you can say that. Yes, Neil?
I found it very interesting that I have, I hang out in a devotee community for many years, and I found it very interesting how sometimes the devotees even know that we read everywhere that the spiritual world is the highest and Bhakti Yoga is the highest. Like even though they hear and we read every day, we still find devotees who are not really attracted or sincerely attracted to the spiritual world. They want to go to Brahma Jyoti, or they want to the heavenly planets, or they want to take a better birth. Why is this? If we know that Bhakti Yoga is the highest and the spiritual world is the highest.
We know it. That's a great question, first of all, and that is really true. Like I said,
Is it part of the process, like to go through this kind of like?
no, it's just a matter of us really exercising our free will and saying, you go to the supermarket, you have so many products, you look at all of them. That's how we're programmed. And more than programming, it's our own propensity as a unit. Like we'll look, oh, this. But then, how would we know of something which is beyond our potential as such? Like yoga, for example, going into Brahma Jyoti. Brahma Jyoti is the non-differentiated mass of consciousness, Brahman. And that is all-inclusive. That includes all kinds of tattvas, Shakti, Shaktiman, Shiva, everything. So those who rise to some level close to that or around that, then they go out and they start saying, this is it. There's nothing beyond. So they're reaching their potential. They're reaching as far as they can. But that doesn't necessarily mean that's the ultimate. So scientifically, what we're saying is that Vrindavan is beyond our potential. It is the highest and the subtlemost. And it has to do with intimacy with the Supreme Essence. So that's how you even calculate ecstasy. How would you do that? In a non-differentiated, non-dual, absolute environment, how would you calculate anything? So we're given this is that rasa, and rasa is that, that exchange of affection that we have in any relationship, how it reaches its ultimate in Vrindavan. It's beyond what we can conceive of because it's beyond our potential. For example, to give you an example, light has an absolute speed. Einstein's theory of relativity is all based on the speed of light being an absolute number. And light cannot exceed its speed, right? So that is its potential. Do you follow? That is its potential. Now consider this, and this is something which has been recorded and observed by astronomers and scientists, that when light passes through or passes near, goes near something, a phenomena which is called a black hole, the black hole attracts light. So what does that mean? If you really see, what does that mean? It attracts even light. That phenomenon attracts even light. So it can bend light. But more importantly, how can it bend light? Only if it makes light exceed its own speed. Do you understand? So,
So that means we should not interrupt the process of those devotees or persons who are not like attracted to what is beyond, but that they want to stay in Vaikuntha or in the Brahma-jyoti. Like we should like respect their process because they don't.
we are not to. Yes, you're right. We're not to interrupt them, or if they're focused on their particular path, then it's all encouragement. We are not to interfere in any of that process. But yes, if someone comes to me and asks or says, can you help me understand your conception, your position, then I will help them. We're like that. We're not to go in and disrupt. Like someone has their conception, they're happy, they're following it. Wonderful. We're to encourage that.
It's kind of sad.
Yes, it is. Yeah, I'm right, and I share your sadness, and but it is like that because it does require an individual soul, a unit of consciousness to actually come to a level of development when they can start to understand Mahaprabhu's conception or Vrindavan conception. So we may not be able to substantiate that in our own example, but that's how it works. Before that, no matter how much you explain it or you try and tell it, it won't. It's a function of actual development. It's called Vikasit Chetana. Vikasit Chetana is consciousness, and Vikas means development thereof. One has to be developed to that level. And to see that development, I can't use these eyes, the eyes of the flesh. They will not tell us. Only those in that position, by grace or otherwise, they can see with that higher vision. And then, help that particular soul in that position to come out of wherever they're at and move to the next level. Yes, Prabhu?
Just to add a little bit, but when Gurudev used to give initiation, he would always say, by the order of my Guru Maharaj, any sincere seeker that's coming, I'm going to give this holy name to. But the prerequisite is sincere seeker, right? And so what are they seeking? That faith, that Goloka Vrindavan, that mood.
Say, beautiful. Thank you, Prabhu. Without that, without coming to that standard, then Nityananda can do that. He can wrestle people to the ground. He can run after them. And they're saying, I don't want it. He goes, no, open your mouth. You need it. He can do that. That's aggressive, dominating mercy. He can do that. But not ordinary.
But then it's the balancing act between spreading Mahaprabhu's mission. Like with Srila Prabhupada, his main message was distribute my books, distribute my books. You're going up to complete strangers and please take this,
That's Nityananda.
That's Nityananda, but it's like when you're dealing with, like she's saying, with friends, people you have some affection and connection with, but they're not. It's like the mercy has to descend in you, and your sincerity has to be there, that connection, because how in the world am I here?
how am I hearing this and actually maybe even digesting a drop of it?
Yeah.
It's like a miracle.
Yes, it is.
If someone hadn't come and said, hey, take this,
Yeah.
you know. But it's like to preach to the unfaithful or people aren't ready to hear. It's a balancing act with individuals.
For that, that's beautiful. For that, the best way of preaching is association. If the way I am and how Krishna consciousness has touched me, if it has touched me and touched my heart to a deep level, then people shall perceive. Cannot but be. So the best way to preach is by association, by how you deal with them. Then they will ask, like, what is it that you do? You know, what is it? What is this tilak about? Or what is this shika about? And then, you know, that becomes, oh yeah, I go to this, this center, and yeah, I have my teacher, and he's then, and there's these beautiful devotees, and they and then taste, you know, some taste. Yeah, here, just have prasadam. So that's, you know, those are ways and means that we can do without, you know, sort of like going in and preaching heavy.
I had this question once too about, because I worked with a lot of people, and how do you preach to people who are asking these questions? And at the time I was talking to Goswāmī about it, and he said, if you look at all the books, all the songbooks, they talk about hankering and this like hunger for devotion and how they're crying for the devotion. And he said, but Guru Maharaj said that Krishna is all positive and that hankering is a negative that we're attracting the positive with. And so if you're not able to have that positive or at that stage, pray for the hankering, pray for the negative.
Yeah.
And then that way, he said, you can preach to your friends and say, pray for the devotion, pray for the sincerity, pray for that hankering. Yeah. And that will help them.
Yeah. So it's like that. It's just actually bhakti, and it goes from heart to heart. That transmission is not how we're imagining it to be. There's various ways and means that the mind can imagine, but again, this whole process, means and end, it's all beyond the purview of the mind. So it's heart to heart. That heart to heart process is how real religion propagates. It propagates like that. Puts in a seed. You may not see anything. I may not see anything. The person may not see anything. And then, you know, some time passes, and then some question comes, and they start to wake up. So it's the process like that. But again, sincerity is like the foundation of all of it. One has to be sincere. One has to be at that stage. And this is like broadly, there are so many exceptions where Bilhu Mangala Ṭhākur and, you know, other devotees, they've exemplified, like they're doing, you know, they're going after mundane pleasure, and suddenly, you know, one thing someone says to them, and it just like floods them with this entire remembrance, and then they go, no, I need to go to the center. And so again, you know, this is also part of like some play of the divine. Ultimately it is all the play of the divine, but this is like that. So our journey is all part of the play. It's all part of the play. Yes.
But that is another factor that Śrīla Gurudeva used to say, that the seed that Srīdhar Mahārāj gave when he gave the Mahamantra to the devotees is so excelsior, is so extraordinary, the quality of that seed. That is nothing that we can do that won't connect us to the divine supreme realm of service. That's embedded in that seed. And the only thing we need to do is to follow the process that Guru Mahārāj is prescribing. And that is like going a lift that has a penthouse button only, kind of. The lift go very slowly, but you can only, with Guru Mahārāj's seed, only that's the destination because it's his seed. So, do you agree or no?
Yeah, absolutely, because what you're saying is like from Guru Mahārāj, Gurudev's side, it's a guarantee. And then, but I'm saying, but I don't feel anything. Actually, that's a good thing.
Yeah.
If I did feel like, oh yeah, I mean, then it would be like, wait a minute, let's discuss this.
Yeah.
Yes, Prabhu?
Sorry.
No.
In Affectionate Guidance, Gurudev talks about the elevator, and he says it's Nityananda's elevator. And he said, just stay on. It goes so fast that you might get sick, but just stay on.
Yeah.
So not even a slow elevator,
No.
the fastest elevator, from the basement to the top.
Absolutely.
Let's tolerate the speed.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And be attached to that,
So
that truth.
to only from our side, now what you were saying is, again, beautiful, is that there is some cooperation from our side that can really speed up that elevator, and it can even become a rocket. So we can have like 10 to 20 G's, like, oh, what is happening? as we're catapulted, into orbit. So that's actually all factual, and Gurudev has used even the rocket as an example, launching your rocket. Those are his words. But thank you, because this makes it like really wonderful.
And then when you're meeting someone who's not pursuing it so sincerely, they're a little curious and, but I'm just going to hang out here sort of thing. I don't have the whole article, but I remember this one part from Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākur. And he said, actually, we're all brothers in faith, except the atheists. So it's like anybody that's leaning towards the center, we see so many people, if you go out and meet other people of other religions, there's some deep sincerity there. Right. Their realizations might not be as well progressed as in Gaudiya Siddhanta, but still, they're going in the right direction, and you don't want to disturb that. And we can have some comfort in that we're all brothers in faith, except the atheists, and Krishna will take care of the rest. As their realizations come, then they'll progress.
Yeah, absolutely. And then we will find that some fortunate souls will start asking, or just start like being friendly and appreciating, and then they will get pulled in an organic kind of a way. That is the best way. I'm not saying that is the only way, because there's so many exceptions, so many different.
It's hard sometimes though when it's someone like a friend, and you want them to get the same taste that you're getting, but they're just not there.
Yeah, so, like Radharani Didi was saying that one feels sad sometimes for like, well, why are you not aspiring for?
Look.
No, everyone is going to get it. Like it's very so boring.
Like Tatastha or Brahmajyoti merging into that, that's like some people, that's the highest. Even Vedanta, people who study Vedanta think that's the ultimate. And that Nirgun plane is the non-differentiated Brahman effulgence, and we become reinstated in that, and that's it. And then we're God.
But it's like, do they think past that point? Like, okay, you have no personality, you have no relationships, no friend, there's no beauty, there's no taste,
See,
there's no charm, there's no music, there's no flowers to smell, you know, it's like, who wants to go there?
see, the thing is, they associate all those characteristics attributes that you just explained with physicality. That's the problem. To smell the flowers, to appreciate, to reciprocate, they think they're all functions of physicality. And so they're never attracted to that, or they don't even go near that. So that's why formless, they think formless is somehow their ideal. Being formless is the ideal, and not considering that formless doesn't mean no personality. Very important. One verse, I'll give an example. He says, not in here, but he says, Maya tatam idam sarvam jagat avyakta murtina. He says, I am permeating everything as avyakt, unmanifest, formless, murtina. Formless, personality. Why does he use that?
I never heard of that before.
Maya tatam idam sarvam jagat avyakta murtina matsthani sarva bhutani nachaham teshvavasthita. There's a reason for that. Formlessness does not mean no personality. Who says that? He says that himself. Because our conception of personality is body. That's why. Is physicality. It's not nobody's fault. But that's how we're hardwired. Even Vedantists, they're studying this, but they cannot understand the simple conception. Then who dictated that if you do not possess a material body, you cannot have a personality? Who said that? Where? That is the crux of the problem. It's a fine point, but it's supremely important. Therefore, they consider anything that has form, they will think body, same, like they have, I have, is the same bag of bones and other material.
Does that fall in the conception of moksha, liberation, or is something different?
Liberation is, if you really understand that moksha, means relief from the repeated birth and death.
So this about the formlessness, that's beyond, that's something else.
Yes, but that never is supposed to mean not having a personality. That's why the samadhi phantom merging into, into that void, or into that non-differentiated mass of consciousness without individuality. That's a phantom. It's a misnomer.
But they believe that, right? A lot of impersonalists. That's their ideal. You see, that's the thing. I mean, if any of them were to even converse, they would understand it. It's very simple. Because consciousness and personality, you cannot separate them actually. When we talk free will, so what do you mean free will, like universal free will? A universal free will of an individual unit in an environment, then free will make sense.
And then other attributes of personality. And one of them maybe, may not be having a material body. See, it's very, very important to come to that stage of saying, well, how do you say that I'm a conscious unit and when I'm unmanifest, I don't have a personality? Where does it say that? So, yeah.
Yeah, it's like, remember in Śrīla Prabhupada how he always made the distinction, like, he never called Krishna God. Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead.
Yeah.
Like, that distinction always, amazed me.
Because
Like,
God is again, it's been dragged, just that conception has been dragged through mud. I don't feel good saying that, but God can mean anything to anyone. And, what does God mean? Can you show me God? What does God mean? A cheap trick, and someone can perceive that as, oh, that's God.
impersonal.
Or impersonal, or so many things, whatever you make it, like liberation. You have 10 different versions of what one considers liberation. But we're trying to understand the finest of the vine is like liberation means relief from this repeated birth and death. In other conception, and let's say I'm not going to name any other conception, but in another conception, you have only one life. So liberation will have entirely different meaning from their lens. For them, time is running linear. We have only one life. And so how can you explain cyclical birth and death? For them, getting out of it would mean entirely different than it would mean to someone, who's in this conception. But one has to understand that there's gradation in theism. That's why we say this is full-fledged theism. A full-fledged is different than just saying, just ordinary off-the-shelf theism. Off the shelf you can get. Over the counter. That's actually better. Can you give me my prescription? What is it? Over the counter theism? What? So without the they'll go, oh, okay, here.
We'll take care of it.
Here, just take that. What are your symptoms? Oh yeah, take the Brahmajyoti one. Or take the other one.
You want to feel no pain?
We're taught that the soul, the nature of the soul is to be active. So if one enters into Brahmajyoti, so because of the nature of the soul, at some point they come out of that.
Some wave will come.
Yeah, some wave, something will happen depending on their individual nature.
Some jitter will come, and then one will develop some propensity, to either function this way, that way, and then again.
Because it's an unnatural place to be.
Yeah,
So.
that's why it's unnatural. It may be, okay, that's the plane, that's the tatastha plane, but that's not where we really belong. And that's why we are told to go back home. Go back home, because having gone there, having had a little taste of that, you would not be attracted to anything else. Having once been attracted to Krishna, then you will never be attracted to anything else.
It's like the thought of, like even the heavenly planets, it's like, I don't want to go there. I'm afraid of how comfortable I would get. Living for tens of thousands of years in luxury and, I'd forget. It's better to have a little uncomfortableness to help you remember that this is not your real home.
So that's positive, to be uncomfortable is actually ultimately good. So that's why we consider all waves as favorable. It's not something which is like a utopian sort of like all waves are favorable, but you're getting beat down, and then you're all waves. No, but factually that is the way. When we say janma mrityu jara vyadi dukkha doshanu darshanam, birth, death, disease, infirmity, if someone does not see them as exceptions in existence, then they don't really have real knowledge. But that's the impetus. An exception, when we see it, in of itself will be like, okay, that's a disaster. But that should propel us in some direction. Like, I need to fix this. Right? So those kind of anomalies and those kind of exceptions are there in this system for us to look a little deeper within us and to then try and find out, like, hey, what's the best way? What is ultimate relief? So when we talk about bhakti, everything is ultimate. This is the ultimate. Raj vidya raj guhyam pavitram midam uttamam. About bhakti he says that. King of all knowledge. He's giving different kinds of knowledge, but when he comes to bhakti, he says Raj Vidya Raj Guhyam. And then this is, ultimately, when one understands to exceed my own potential, then only by surrender, by Sharanagati, then we can get to that position or that plane. Where no resistance, if that photon resisted the attraction of that phenomenon, black hole, then it cannot exceed its own speed and not be attracted. Then it'll keep going at the speed that everyone has put it down, and it will not be attracted. But the moment it says, okay, well, I'll cooperate with the environment, there and then it gets attracted. And it exceeds its own speed, only then it'll be attracted. There's no other way for light to be attracted. You have to exceed its own potential. So in that way, we can understand that. So to exceed our potential by doing these different yogas, Hatha Yoga and all these, they're bona fide, the Ashtanga Yoga principles, Dhyan Yoga, they're all like, they're Vedic principles. Lavanya, can you please move a little bit? So, because of that, they are ascending process. So we'll ascend by my own ability, by acquiring powers, I will ascend. And then it's, so that limits the level that one can go to, because being tatastha, that's as high as you can go. But then having higher energy coming down and then taking you, then why stop at tatastha? Then there's no stopping. Then all through Vaikuntha, all the way there. Why stop in the marginal position? Yeah, you can see it. As you cross all of it, then see this. But we got this exclusive ticket for the end of the line. So that's where we get off. So it's all common sense, it's all scientific, it's all real. It's just a question of focusing, clarity, and then just being sincere in going forward. Like one time, Gurudev said, and it was like big meeting, he said, "You're all liberated." He said that, right?
In Russia, he said.
Right? So do you think that was just an off the cuff, like just a remark? No. As Ananda, Didi said, that from, the where we're getting the seed, it's a guarantee. And by his vision, he's only seeing the potential. He's not seeing your current position, my current position. And he's saying, you're all liberated. You're all, dancing, working, and doing everything for their lordships already. So he's not, it's absolute. And he's like, you're all liberated. Because unless you're liberated, which means you're free from the mundane, you can't actually engage in that level. And so many things, there's so many examples to help us understand and see it so clearly. Śrīla Shukadeva Goswāmī, Parinishthitopi Nairgunyottam Shloka Leelaya, Grahita Cheta. So he's saying, and everyone knew when he was speaking the Bhagavatam, he is chosen and he's speaking, everyone knew that he's born, from birth he's at the Nirguna level. He's in his constitutional position. He doesn't have to put on clothes or this or, man, woman. None of that. He doesn't have that conception. The worldly, mundane conception. So he was born at Nirguna. But what does he say? Grahita Cheta. He says that movement of the infinite, that has captured me wholesale. Which means light has been attracted. He says that of his own admission. And that is really essential for anyone who's studying Vedanta, studying Śrīmad Bhagavatam, to understand. This is not just, being in Tathastha region or being in the Brahmajyoti. This is way beyond. Brahmano hi pratisthāham. He says that Brahmajyoti rests on me. It's the covering. That dazzling effulgence. Hiranyamayena patrena satsyapihitam mukham tattvam pushana pavarnu satya dharmaya drishtaye. This is Upanishad giving us a little hint that please remove that dazzling effulgence so we can actually truly see you. So there is so much help to understand it, that there can be Paramatma conception, finer, Brahman conception, fine, Paramatma, finer, and then Bhagavan iti shabdate, finest. All are absolute, but there is gradation. So we are absolute relativists. Not the Einstein, that is mundane relativity. We are absolute relativists. By Sharanagati, we become absolute relativists. In relation to the absolute, to him, then where we're at, so it's also very scientific and beautiful. As we go, we can discuss finer points and equip ourselves, and always positive and enthusiastic. So, this is like, these sessions are so important. So sadhu sang is all in all. Sadhu sang sarva shastra ka hai. Sadhu sang lava matra sarva siddhya hai. Real association with saintly personalities, even lava matra means just like fraction of a second. And all perfection is achievable through the Sharanagati principle, through the absolute relativism, by offering no resistance, by cooperation, by the descending process. by letting the higher energy work as it should. All waves are favorable. If that little unit starts resisting, then, process is shunted. Progress is shunted, then it takes a lot longer, more development, more time. So,
it's kind of like if you're going in a certain direction and you step off the right path and you start going, if you keep going, you're way the heck and gone from where you're trying to get to. And it's almost like that, like we see it in our daily lives. We have choices that we make to remember Krishna or ignore it. Like, is Krishna in the center? Is Krishna behind everything? Is, like, have that filter where we're seeing Krishna's there, or well-wisher, or like, no, I'm going to figure this out on my own, and, or I'm allowing this thought process to predominate. And then you just end up way the heck and gone from the direct. And that, in my mind, that's how I'm thinking. At some point we made some stupid decision and went in this direction and then just kept going. And that's how we ended up here, and we're so thickly covered and deeply rooted in misconception.
Yeah, various layers, but the good thing is that our connection is there, our service is there, that's all in all. And that will take us all the way, for sure. So, always hope. And mistakes and this and that, and that'll always happen. And that's actually a good thing, in a way, because unless that happens, again, it's an impetus for me. So if making mistakes means I'm trying to move. If no mistake, then that's like, that's undesirable. Movement. And then correction. And correction will come. Okay, now correct. Now go this way, go this way, go this way, go this way. So that trust with the environment. And finally also being able to internally figure out whether this is coming from the mind, whether this is coming from the senses, whether this is coming from just the intelligence, or is it actually coming from that higher absolute plane? So that, how will we know that? There's internally so many different directions and different options that are given that one has. That's why meditation is supposed to clear that slowly. So by meditation, by understanding each of these principles, okay, what Indriyani Paranyahar, okay, well, matter is dull, matter is this, how is it dull, what does it constitute, what is it, and how is this senses, sensual apparatus, how is that higher than the senses, and then higher than that is the mind, and then being able to understand mind, its workings, how it works. That's all part of meditation. Internally, when we analyze ourselves, so the analysis also needs to get finer. Not just I'm bad. That's a general thing, but then be able to, okay, well, that was a bad action, that was a bad thought, that was bad direction. So like that, and slowly, so internal analysis doesn't just mean just keep beating yourself up. It means even that beating needs to get finer. Okay, get a hold of your mind and beat the mind with a shoe. Senses are going to work. We're not to stop the senses. And you cannot stop desires. Desiring is also part of us seeking pleasure. So, and if a unit of consciousness is not seeking pleasure, then it's denying its own potentiality, its own existence, its own fulfillment. Oh, what is that? But where you're seeking it is to be understood. Like, don't try and seek it here, because then you'll get stuck. What you're seeking, if it's of a mundane nature, then I will get stuck in the mundane realm. I will keep rotating, and it will never get satisfied. Again and again, again and again, again and again. There's no end to it. Other people say, oh, God's doing it. No. I'm doing it. I mean, or whoever it is in their situation, they're doing it. This world is for the inmates. So, as a correctional facility, we have to make the best of what we have, and we have plenty. People think, oh, well, why did he not just say, like, come to my service? And then where would be the free play? Where would be the free movement of that individual, of me? My choice. The beauty of this whole thing is, by my choice I turn and I choose Krishna. I choose the center. I first understand it, then I choose it, and then I tread towards it. All of that. So, finally, when we look at things and we look at conceptions, then we have to look at Sambandha Videya Prayojan. That's what we're discussing. We have to look at those. And to the level and to the granularity that's been explained in our line, I don't see it, I haven't seen it anywhere. Again, I'm limited, so there may be, I'm not saying that there isn't, but I haven't come across any. And I've studied some. So, Brahma, the all-inclusive, Paramatma, the all-pervasive, Bhagavan, the all-exclusive, Supreme Personality of Godhead. So without Mahaprabhu, we would not be able to capture all of this. Because even the Vedas, people go, I'm a Vedic scholar. Here he says, Traigunya Vishaya Veda. He says the Vedas are just dealing with the three gunas. Sato, Rajas, Tama. What? Nistraigunya Bhavarjuna. But you be situated above the three modes, in that Nirgun plane. That's where you belong, that's what you are. You're the Dehi. Nistraigunya Bhavarjuna. So, even the Vedic scholars, they can tell us how to maneuver through, the different dharmarth, kam, moksha, some direction. That's it. But when it comes to actual study of consciousness, then Vedanta, then Bhagavatam, full-fledged theism. Mahaprabhu gave that. Not just existence, but being conscious of that existence, and then that conscious existence going towards complete fulfillment. Full-fledged theism. Satchid Ananda. That is full-fledged theism. So it's by extreme fortune, mercy, that we have won the lottery, and each one of us is a lottery winner. so like that, it's in Bhagavad Gītā, the way we read it and the way we have to the level, there is no other place that you can get to this depth. Swami Mahārāj, Param Guru Mahārāj, Gurudev, Hare Krishna. What we have is just beyond anyone's potential. So how can one lay claim on any of it? Oh yeah, this is mine, and nothing is yours, nothing is mine. And that's the best way. Everything is very clear, very precise, and wonderfully explained to us. Otherwise, even that one verse that I struggled with it for so long, because I heard so many personalities, great personalities explain that, but I could not understand it. And it's about the karma yoga. It'll come, karmanneva adhikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana ma karma phal hetur bhur ma te sangostva karmani. Could not explain it, could not understand it. How can you act without desiring any fruit? And it says, well, that's how you have to do. That is the best way. But in my mind, I'm thinking, well, I'm always attracted to the fruit, only then I think of acting. And I could not, and I went to so many different places, heard, and then I'm like, well, I'll put it on the back burner. I don't understand it. And then coming in touch with this flow, I'm like, how wonderful. And the explanation was not even complete. And I'm like, how is that? How is that? That resonance. Education really means what? Education doesn't mean I'm going to be taught something totally new. Educate actually means to extract what's already there. Real education. It does not mean, oh, I learned something new, I didn't. No, this is a new thing, new things will come up. All of this is there. So that's why resonance. Resonance is like somewhere deep within. When I heard from without, there is a resonance within. And then it like vibrates. Yes, I'm totally okay with that. Who will deny as a healthy conscious unit that that unit does not seek pleasure? Who would deny that? Only a sick mind would deny that. It's our intrinsic nature. But where we seek is what it is. And when Om is that big yes. Oh, you seek pleasure. Oh, it means yes. What you seek, everything is here. Everything is here. So we are to look for that, we are told like that, to look for that, to be conscious of that universal wave. And in how much harmony we can be to that, and we can have all of it. We will be completely swept away and be taken in. All that is required from our side is cooperation. Just maybe press that button in the elevator. Even otherwise it would go, but then it takes a lot longer for to close and then go. But then if you press the button, that's it. So from our side, it's just that cooperation. That's all. Yes, I want to go beyond my potential. And that potential not of abilities, of the constitutional potential, of our very nature of our existence. And that is limitless. That is of an absolute nature, and even going beyond, way beyond that. That's full-fledged theism. Guru, one of his, he was on tour, and I was just seeing a video of Gurudev, and he's smiling, and then suddenly he gets like, okay, and then everyone is like, they also like, okay, well, he says, our most serious business, and then he pauses, and everyone's like, most serious business, okay, well, what is that going to be? He says, it's to play with Krishna.
There's an invitation.
And he said it exactly like that. Our most serious business. And I could see people like, okay, what's going to come now? And he goes, is to play with Krishna. Hare Krishna. Govinda Mahārāj Ki Jay. It's 1 o'clock unless you have anything. Anādiradir Govinda Sarva Karana Karanam. Jai Om Vishnupad Śrīla Bhaktī Sundar Govinda Dev Goswāmī Mahārāj Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Śrīla Bhaktī Rakshak Srīdhar Dev Goswāmī Mahārāj Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Vaswarenya Śrīla A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jai Śrī Chaitanya Saraswat Mat Acharya Vrinda Ki Jai. Jai Śrīla Bhakti Pavan Janardhan Mahārāj Ki Jai. Śrī Chaitanya Saraswat Mat Seva Vrinda Ki Jai. Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. All the assembled vaishnavas, vaishnavis, devotees Ki Jai. Today is Ekadasi Tithi Ki Jai. Śrī Chaitanya Saraswat Mat Ki Jai. Śrī Chaitanya Saraswat Seva Ashram Soquel, California Ki Jai. Śrīla Ṭhākur Ki Jai. Nittai Gaur Premanande. Hari Hari Bol.
Do you guys want to do a Hari Haraya?
Sure. Yes, Didi.
So nice to hear your sweet voices.
I'll go do it.
16?
Yeah.
Śrī Kṛṣṇa Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda
Śrī Kṛṣṇa Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda
Bhaja Shri Advaita Gadadhara
Shrivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hari Haraya Namah Krishna Yadavaya Namah
Hari Haraya Namah Krishna Jadavaya Namaha
Hari Haraya Namah Krishna Yadavaya Namah
Hari Haraya Namah Krishna Jadavaya Namaha
Yadavaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Namaha
Jadavaya Madhavaya Keshavaya
Gopal Govinda Ram Madhusudan Giridhari Gopinath Chaitanya Nityananda Shri Advaita Chanda Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Rupa Sanatan Bhatta Raghuna
Jaya Rupa Sanatan
Jaya Rupa Sanatan Bhatta Raghuna Jiva Gopala Bhatta Dasa Raghuna Chai Gosai Kori Charana Vanda Bolo Chai Gosai Kori Charana Vanda Jaha hoite Vignana Chavishta Puran Chai Gosai Janui Tarada Panchavara Padarinu Mora Gadera Charana Sevi Bhakta Saneva Janame Janame Mora Eiya Bhira Chai Gosai Jabe Braja Koilava Bolo Chai Gosai
Oh.
Were you singing?
I don't think you were singing.
He didn't sing
Were you
today.
singing?
Sounded like
Yeah, he was singing.
you was singing. Yes, you was. I heard.
Very nice. Thank you. Thank you. There's a, yeah.
I didn't know. Was it
Yeah. I'm doing now.
Switch off.
We'll just.
Yeah.